Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I don't think I've ever seen a comment from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse quite like this. So mind you, you guys are aware, obviously, we're currently in a bull run. I know for the last several weeks we've kind of been moving sideways, but that happens in bull markets. We've been surging to the upside tremendously, in particular, since the United States presidential election took place here. And it's so fascinating to see, and I'm going to show you exactly what Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse had to say, but he literally stated, as we're in a very real bull run, that yes, the bull market is real. And it's just so fascinating to see this, because normally you don't see executives from Ripple say anything even close to that. Like, because look, I think it's perfectly reasonable. He did nothing wrong by saying that. But comments like that, some people who are haters, like, they can twist it and make it sound like he's just being hypey or this or that, especially given that XRP's been one of the greatest beneficiaries of the price actions that have occurred as a result of the election outcome. As far as I'm concerned, he is in the right to say everything that he's saying. He's factually correct, and after the crap that he personally had to go through, because don't forget, it's not just the entire crypto asset class that was under attack. He was personally sued by the SEC, and of course Ripple the company was sued, claiming that XRP itself was a security. So I'd say it's totally fair, given how things have unfolded, for him to come out swinging a bit here. But to see him say this, I think Brad Garlinghouse knows what the implications are for XRP for this market cycle. And I don't blame him one bit for not talking about it. But I think he understands that all new all-time highs for XRP are coming in face melt season. So anyway, this is a fun one, though. I look forward to sharing this with you. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so there's all sorts of crypto media outlets covering this. Here's a headline as an example from Cointelegraph. 75% of Ripple's open roles are now US-based. CEO Brad Garlinghouse. You know how beautiful it is to see a headline like that? It's just incredible. Having been in the trenches with pretty much all of you for the last several years as the SEC has attacked not just Ripple, but effectively all XRP holders the world over. You know how beautiful it is to see something like that, and to know that in part thanks to what happened on election day, XRP has rocketed to the upside. And I still think XRP very clearly would have participated with the market cycle regardless. But the point is, we've seen more bullish activity than we would have if the outcome of the election had gone differently. And Brad Garlinghouse knows that. He is not mincing words here. He is absolutely 100% correct. And I'll say this at least once real quick in this video. This is not a political channel on YouTube. It never will be. This is a crypto-related YouTube channel. Very XRP-centric. Also talk about broadly the economy and legacy finance as well, sure. I will only speak about anything having to do with politics, even remotely, if it has to do with finance, the economy, or typically, most specifically, crypto. Because then y'all getting into my world. If people in government or politics start doing anything tampering or talking about tinkering with crypto, yeah, I'm going to talk about it. But as far as preaching politics, no, I'm never going to do that on this channel, but I'm going to speak truth as it impacted crypto here. And as far as I'm concerned, this is effectively a matter-of-fact statement. And I don't care what your politics are, that we can be friends regardless. I don't care, and I'm not going to get into it other than it pertains to crypto. And I'll just say this. Regardless of whether you're on the left or the right politically, if you're in crypto, you are financially better off today than you would have been had the election gone the other way. That is unquestionable, and the market has been screaming it. It is very odd. Look at how the stock market responded immediately as soon as it was clear that Trump had won. And not just that, so crypto trades 24/7, 365. Do you realize that as soon as markets believed it was a virtual certainty, though it wasn't technically declared yet, when it was a virtual certainty that Trump was going to win, Bitcoin already and the crypto market started shooting up on election night before it was certain? That's how much this matters to people who are investing. And so here's what Brad Garlinghouse had to say, and he's just keeping it real here as far as I'm concerned. He wrote, 2025 is here, and the Trump bull market is real. For Ripple, this is even more personal after Gensler's SEC effectively froze our business opportunities here at home for years. The optimism is obvious and very deserved. So today, 75% of Ripple's open roles are now US based, while over the last 4 years, the vast majority of hires were outside the United States. And folks, listen to this one too, because this is, I love to see it. It's very heartwarming as far as I'm concerned, and it's very telling. Check this out. We signed more US deals in the last 6 weeks of 2024 since the election than the previous 6 months. Whew. And why? I mean, mind you, right now, as I record this, the Biden administration is in charge for another 14 days. So this is shifting under his administration, but that's because he's on his way out the door. It's because he's on his way out the door. And everybody sees Trump's taking over and they know what he's going to bring to crypto, and markets got hot for good reason. And so then Brad says, Team Trump is already jumpstarting innovation and job growth in the United States with Scott Bessent, David Sachs, Paul Atkins, and others at the helm, and they aren't even in office yet. Say what you want, but the Trump effect is already making crypto great again through his campaign and in the administration's day one priorities. That one gets a mother flipping golf clap. You'll love to see it. Spot on, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Spot on. That is absolutely correct. Things they are changing, and as it pertains specifically to finance, the stock market, crypto, the reason we've seen what we've seen is because people understand what is likely to unfold, roughly speaking, what markets don't want. And the reason that we saw this malaise, if you want to call it that, leading into the election, there was a lot of flat price action and not so hot price action leading into it, is because markets don't like uncertainty. And so even if Harris had won the election, it's probably true that to some degree markets would have taken a little bit of a hit, but he still would have he still have global liquidity cycles, and they would have moved back to the upside. It's just that clearly because of this, and markets have spoken, you're going to get a way bigger peak for the market cycle than you otherwise would have. That's the cool thing. And XRP has regulatory clarity going through all this. It's just like chef's kiss. You know what I'm saying? Everything's so perfectly aligned. It's like whatever the hell was 4 years ago, it's the opposite of that, okay? It's just a dream scenario for XRP holders. And so to see Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse putting out a message like this, completely opposite of the crap that we had to hear from anybody talking about this 4 years ago, it's just a beautiful thing. It really, truly is. I love to see this. There's this post from the Wall Street Bets account, 866,000 followers, and wrote, regulators are suddenly having a change of heart on crypto, making XRP and Ripple's future look brighter than your favorite meme stock. And I read that, I was like, yep, that's about right. And it's awesome to see really large accounts like that coming around, and it really started talking about XRP around election time as XRP heated up. But look at that, 181,000 views on just a simple little post like that. Wait till things get really crazy. It's going to be every large account on the damn planet talking about this in social media, crypto media outlets talking about it, and legacy media. Everybody and their grandma and their grandma's dog going to be talking about it. Like, I'm telling you, that is what's ahead of us here. It's just such an incredible thing. And again, whatever you think politically, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm not going to talk about it. Other than, as it pertains to here, we, being crypto folks, are way better off because this is the outcome of the election. Undeniable fact of life. And anybody, even if you're not a pro-Trump guy, that's fine. I'm not getting into it. Even if you're not, if you're being intellectually honest, then you will at least admit that you're better off financially because this happened. Here's a post from chart analyst Bobby A. He shared that post from Brad Garlinghouse. And he wrote the following. This will be the driving force behind the $8 to $13 target. He's talking about XRP, of course. $20 possible. Pay attention. Okay. I think that XRP was going to hit a new all-time high this cycle no matter what. So I already kind of said my piece on that a minute or two ago. I said even if the election went the other way, yeah, maybe the markets would have taken a hit to whatever degree. But once the markets at least know what to expect, then they can plan accordingly. Market participants, okay. And then you still have liquidity cycles, so you would still see a blow-off top to whatever degree. But I agree, broadly speaking, with his sentiment here, because again, XRP is going to go higher this cycle. than it would have if the election went the other way. So, yes, when he says that this is a driving force, yeah, it is a factor. I think that's undeniable at this point. The world has spoken. Look at how capital markets have responded since the election. It's very obvious. I mean, only somebody who is going to try to be intellectually dishonest and wants to spin it would even bother to oppose that. In which case, I just come on. I don't have time for that crap. But still, check this out. Somebody responded to him, and I'm going to briefly address this. Somebody named I'm the Bishop on X, some random person, responded and said, "Crackhead targets, bro. Stop. $20 XRP is over $1 trillion market cap, surpassing Ethereum." Laughy emoji. So there we go. So this is a failure of imagination. Do you think that the crypto pie is at the peak of what it's ever going to be? You know, at about 3.5 trillion or whatever the hell it is as I record this? That's it. And so you can't have big numbers where multiple coins have $1 trillion market caps. Just one. Just Bitcoin, right? Well, that's stupid. STLLPID, stupid. Consider this, just to break this down, and this guy clearly hasn't thought this through. But he's laughing a lot. So imagine Bitcoin gets to like not a crazy number, but a number that a lot of analysts think is possible. And maybe it does get hit. $150,000 for Bitcoin. Okay, that's roughly a $3 trillion market cap for Bitcoin alone. $3 trillion. Consider this then, okay? If Ethereum goes to $10,000, which, you know, that's not, I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not making a prediction, but that's not something that people struggle with. If you say Ethereum rather goes to $10,000, people aren't going to think you're crazy. They'll be like, oh yeah, that's about 2 times, just a twofold increase. That's maybe a little conservative, but yeah, Ethereum going from its all-time high of around $4,900 last cycle to maybe close to 10,000, a twofold from that. That's not crazy, right? And do you know what the market cap for ETH would be at that? Somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.2 trillion. So about a third of what Bitcoin would be if Bitcoin hits $150,000, just a third. So if you're talking about XRP matching ETH, which there's historic precedent for this, it has. XRP has taken that number 2 spot on several occasions, including the 2017 bull run, which this looks a lot like. Well, if it gets anywhere close to that, then yes, you would not just be talking about low double-digit price action for XRP, but yeah, it could get into the 20s. And this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He calls it a crackhead target. What? No, he needs to stop. He's embarrassing himself. Really grinds my gears. So, I'm just saying, yeah, so XRP, yes, it would have over a $1 trillion market cap at that level, but that would be less than a third of Bitcoin's. Now, did you know that during the 2017 bull run, XRP's market cap was more like, and I think I talked about this recently. If not, maybe I'll bring it up in another video and pull up the data, but XRP was almost half of Bitcoin's market cap in the 2017 bull run. If you look from the Bitcoin's peak and XRP's peak, it may have been like 48 or 49%. So yeah, then you'd be looking at more like what, $25 for XRP if it did that again, if Bitcoin gets to $150,000? This guy has no clue what he's talking about. So I just wanted to point that out real quick here. Here's a post from attorney John Deaton, and given the impact that he's had for the entire XRP community, I thought you might appreciate what he had to say on this matter. And so he's quoting at first here part of what Brad Garlinghouse had to say. "We signed more U.S. deals in the last 6 weeks of 2024 since the election than the previous 6 months." And then now the rest of these are John Deaton's words. "As I've said, it's impossible to estimate the damage the lack of regulatory clarity caused American businesses like Ripple. I can't tell you how many times I heard, just avoid the U.S. market and don't offer anything to U.S. investors. On top of a lack of regulatory clarity, Ripple had to deal with gross government overreach and selective enforcement. In addition to the issue of regulatory clarity, or lack thereof, excessive regulations continue to stifle innovation. There's a simple solution to many of our problems because a lot of our problems are caused by one thing: too much bureaucracy. For example, problem. We have a housing shortage crisis across America, including Massachusetts. Cause. It can take 2 years just to pull necessary permits. Facepalm emoji. Solution. This should be common sense here. A solution: eliminate red tape, streamline the permitting process, and use tax credits, incentivize builders to build housing, including low-income housing. Hopefully we see a ripple effect, pun intended, throughout industries caused by the excitement of a new administration. So, folks, if anybody had any concern about what is going to happen with the new administration as it pertains to crypto, look, I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect, but it's going to be pretty damn close compared to what we've seen for the last, I don't know, the last rest of existence for humankind, especially compared to the last several years with this train wreck of a Biden administration as it pertains to crypto specifically. I mean, it was bad enough under the previous Trump administration, but Trump's done a 180. But yeah, it's true. It was bad enough under the first Trump administration. And then, my God, you get to Biden and it's like that on steroids. It was just disgusting, like taking a hammer to it. Not just this disdain or dislike for it or not endorsing crypto. It's the Biden admin gets in and just takes a hammer to it from the top on down. It's just disgusting, trying to ruin your opportunity for life-changing wealth. But that's over. And the markets have spoken. They do believe that he's going to do what he said as it pertains to crypto. And look, look at who he's pushing for SEC chair. We talked about that ad nauseum. That'll be the first pro crypto SEC chair in history under this new incoming administration. This is fantastic stuff, and we're in a bull run. And XRP is legal clarity. If you're not excited about this, frankly, I think that you don't have a pulse and you are on the other side of the dirt. That would be my best guess, because otherwise, don't make no damn sense up in this bitch as far as Moon Lambo is concerned. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.